Good morning and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to one and happy Sunday to all. Trusting all are safe and well. And I would like to welcome you to my new channel, Doe Eyes TV _2. And today's topic is, can you trust? As I mentioned yesterday, as I introduced this new channel, that this will be a different spin, my perspectives and reactions to videos within many of the sectors on YouTube. These last couple of weeks on these YouTube streets resonates with the words summer and heat. And it appears, from my optics, that it's only going to get more hotter. So grab your water bottles and your sunscreen. Stay safe. Now, who can you trust? Many would say you shouldn't really trust anyone. And while it appears that is a true statement, I believe in all my years of life, you should always be able to at least trust one, maybe two. Now, when it comes to friends, that's a very, in my opinion, heavy load to carry. Because in life, we know that many things come up unexpected, where we would at one point, as a given, be there for our friends, but depending upon the circumstances that may take us away from the norm, we have to be sure or trust that when these occurrences do happen, and in life they do, that your friend, not associate, but your friend, your true friend, will understand and not change or waver their behaviors because they weren't there, perhaps when you needed an ear or something else that you would always depend on your friend to be there for. Now let's look at motives. And this is directly related to many of the things I've seen and experienced a time or two on these YouTube streets. But before I get into that, I think this is extremely appropriate and brings the message on home.
All the time they want to take your place, the backstabbers. How many of us have them? Friends.
Now, Now, that was a small compilation of some oldies. And at the end, a pop group, TLC, and their song, What About Your Friends? Now, the lyrics in the rap are extremely poignant, at least to me, and at your convenience. And if you desire, you may want to listen at the lyrics of the entire song, paying close attention to the rap version. And that was performed by the late Lisa Left Eye Lopez. May she continue to rest. Now, as I mentioned, many times people come into your lives. And we've heard this old adage, for a reason, for a season. The question is, what are the reasons or motives? Motives. Let's take a gander. Fair use. Motives. A reason for doing something, especially one that is hidden or not obvious. And this is the plural. A reason, motivation, rationale, grounds, cause, basis. Motives. Now, from my observation, and again, this is from my optics, from my lens. As of late, and to be quite honest, it's been at least 2, if not 3 years. And I've mentioned several times the latter part of 2022 that 2023 would definitely be the year of revelation. And what has many of us seen and heard being revealed? Motives, intentions, plans. Some from those you would never suspect. But then again, is anybody truly exempt? Now, personally, I would like to believe overall I've established a good rapport with many people. And I've also learned there are some that I thought I had established a rapport, solid, may not have been what I believed it to be. Now, I am the type of individual, always have been, always been, that will give you the benefit of the doubt. And I've said many, many times that I will continue with that benefit of doubt until I observe something different. Once you cross that line and it's been confirmed, and I go through stages, I don't just wait for one incident to occur. I wait for several. And as I said, and I will continue to say, and this goes for anyone, and I would like for people to hold me at the exact same standard. If you blatantly are dishonest with me, I cannot go any further. There's absolutely no reason for me to do so. Because when you continue to associate with those that are dishonest, not just with you, but those in the past, you set yourself up many times, oftentimes, for a negative cloud, unforeseen circumstances that could potentially bring harm. And I have noticed and experienced both. I will continue to be as respectful as possible, but staying true to what it is I speak. I have noticed that many on these streets, meaning the YouTube streets, and social media, period, will tag team or group up because of their disdain or dislike of an individual, or perhaps a group of individuals. You have others that engage in behaviors that, to me, and in my opinion, can be seen as very dangerous. And for whatever reasons people choose, whether it be vindication, redemption, perhaps notoriety, they go forth with an action or behavior. But you must ask yourself, what precipitated the latter? What did one or many say or do that led to the subsequent actions? And if any thought has been put in as to if any retaliation efforts are made truly worth the actions and behaviors. Again, I would never advise nor lay out a blueprint or suggest how someone should respond to anyone. I would, however, ask to make sure that it's thought out. Because to be honest, we don't know from day to day the mental psyche of anyone, and it would be foolish to ever assume that people that you interact with, whether you know them personally or via a keyboard, camera, and microphone. Many people did not wake today for taking someone for granted. And with mental health issues relating to anger on the rise, it would, in my opinion, and this is all I am saying because it's just an opinion, it would behoove you to keep those two principles in mind. We don't know who knows who. We don't know if a person's back is always against the wall. However, on social media, we already know or should know. We can say whatever we want until someone fact checks. Or perhaps know someone that we know offline and they compare notes. Many are representatives of one's true self. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There are many people, I believe, that go in full-blown character because social media, for many, is a business. And the goals are to entertain and make a profit. But the problem is when the entertainment, and again, this is from my optics, this is from my lens, this is from my perspective. It gets dark when people get too personal. Now, some may go personal out of spite, out of revenge, or perhaps that is just a fabric of who They are. I have stated so many times, patterns. Always, always be cognizant of patterns that people show. Some may not be obvious in the very beginning, but I can almost guarantee after a few months, or sometimes it may take a little longer because many people are extremely savvy. If one deviates, meaning, and this is not to say you don't know what deviate means, but if one steers from what you are used to and they offer an excuse or explanation that you know from discernment is not true, then it is your responsibility, no one else's, to make a decision whether or not you should go forth with that association. Oftentimes, if we choose incorrectly, that association may bring harm to your reputation, to your business, or perhaps the growth of your platform. And also, there's an old adage, I can pretty much determine how you will be or who you are by the company you keep. Now, could that be a good thing or bad thing? It can be up for debate. But I personally believe, from my own experiences and observations, that the majority of a group that gravitates to a dark place they have characteristics of darkness, or they've been around the darkness for so long that it seeped into their inner being. I have heard some of the most outlandish, cruel things said about individuals, both women and men. And much to my chagrin, people laugh. They find humor in the pain of others. I don't find pain in others funny. And that's just me. But I also know that I'm a different individual. And again, we all have our own footsteps. We all have our own walk and decisions to make. And those decisions, I truly believe, will follow us. Be very clear and understand that in life, we all are responsible for the decisions we make. All of us are responsible for the decisions we make. I also believe and know that at times we can have a change of heart. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But understand what the change of heart is. And why we've had the change of heart. Oftentimes, we make mistakes when we give too many chances. And again, we are in 2023. I don't have to remind any that this year is halfway over. And all of us should have goals to thrive and meet goals that have been set. And for those that may not have made any goals, it's never too late. I have a belief system that it's never too late for anything. You just set your sights on what it is you wish to achieve and take the necessary steps. But that does not mean standing upon the shoulders of others, especially if your motive is only to gain without no concern for the shoulders that you're standing upon. Now, as it relates to the YouTube streets, and this will be my final thought for this very first video on my brand new channel. There's always, unfortunately, a population of those who are agents of chaos, those who offer little to no value to you or themselves, with the facades, with the inflated egos and resumes. And actions. They serve little to no purpose whatsoever, almost the equivalent of a troll, a hindrance, a net. You also have a population of individuals who are so enamored by those with notoriety that even if they hear or see wrong, they will not speak up for fear of being ousted or no longer a part of what may appear to be a thriving group. Jealousy and envy, in my opinion, is a disease. A disease that can not only appear topical, but also beneath the skin. Deep down in your soul, that no topical ointment nor OTC or over-the-counter medication can truly cure one of. In my opinion, that would have to come by number one, admitting, accepting, and making the concerted effort to make changes. But unfortunately, many people, they won't. They paint themselves as victims. They paint themselves larger than what they truly are. And please know that when I say jealousy and envy, I am not, and let me make this clear, I am not speaking about myself. Because I've said before, and I will say again, not many would ever want to walk 30 minutes in my shoes. I have had to press restart in all of the years of my life many, many times. I've had challenges and continue to experience challenges. We all do. And I am not going to pretend, nor would I ever pretend to be or have something I'm not or something that I don't have. I've gained and I've lost. It has been a roller coaster. But I'm thankful because it made me learn what true humility is and strength to keep going no matter how difficult life begins and goes. Hey there, Blackfire. You weren't here earlier, but this is, and hopefully you'll understand, my first mini drop of this new channel. And no, my main channel is still there. I just have to comb through each video, and I did a little bit early this morning. But this should resonate with many or have you understand exactly what I mean.
All the time they wanna take your place, the backstabbers. How many of us have them? Friends.
Yes, this is my new channel, Black. And it's going to be a bit different of what many has seen. And it'll include reactions to videos and my perspective, as I'm doing now, on what I see on these YouTube streets and reactions to videos. I'll be dropping the link because this is a brand new channel. No one is blocked at this time. And I said at this time. So please make sure that you sub up and share this out because I would like for this to grow, as well as my vegan channel, which I think will be, because there is nothing wrong with that, monetized soon. And again, I am in no hurry for that. With my main channel, my only concern is making sure that the pausing of the memberships can be rectified where everyone that may want a refund can get that quickly. The baby dough is extremely inexpensive, and then the next level isn't that expensive either. But if they're paused, I don't feel as though those members, paid members, should have to have their money on hold. So again, I've already sent several messages to support to find out if that can be done, instead of having people wait. I have not heard from anyone that they've received any refund yet, and I don't know if it's automatic or if it's a process. I'm still trying to figure out what video or videos have the issue with the reuse. And as I mentioned, it's just funny to me. I'm not even going to say funny because, again, I really do have discernment, but I let my heart, because I'm an empath, continue on longer with things or people because I like to give chances. I'm a believer, and many people may not, but if I want to be accepted after my time here on the earth is over, I would like to be forgiven for all of the things that I have done that I know are not of the Creator. But that does not mean we have to be foolish and accept blatant lies or mistreatment. And that'll be the next topic. No slight to anyone, but I'm sure some people may get a little bit offended. Sometimes the truth pill is hard to swallow, and it doesn't feel going down good at all. But if it's something that you need to make you wake up, because obviously your friends aren't telling you how foolish you look. And if I may be honest, how pathetic you look and how desperate you look to continue to go to an area where you're disparaged, shamed, and the only thing you can do is laugh it off in front of others. When deep down, again, it's just my opinion, once you log off, you may be in tears. I believe a lot of that is associated with low self-esteem, and those who may online type kind words to you that may be associated with trauma bonding. Hey there, the legend, how are you? Let me give you your wrench, and thank you for joining. Again, this is going to be much different. It's not going to be a quote unquote beef channel, but I'm going to be definitely speaking my mind in a way that, well, I have before, but this will be different here. So again, this is extremely brand new. And my next topic, and make sure you hit the like button, please, and share this out so people know this is a brand new channel, will be self-esteem and why people that say that they support you. I'm doing well. How are you? Why they say that they support you, yet allow you to be frank and blunt, to act, or be played as a fool, and you continue to go right back over and over after saying, I'm not going back in that space. It makes absolutely no sense to allow or possibly be the culprit of your self-infliction of pain. And I'm going to be honest. I think it's quite a few of you that are full of, you know what? The focus, and this is what I want many to be clear on, and a lot of drama and chaos usually starts with one or two people. But as I mentioned earlier on in this broadcast, pay attention to patterns. Pay attention to the alignments and the associations. And again, as I said, none of us are perfect. I'm definitely not perfect, but I see so many things and I backed away. And no, I haven't put a thumbnail up or video up about anyone. Now, will I be reacting to videos on this channel? Absolutely. And I will be dropping the link. And I will say, as I have on my main channel, you're welcome. Just be respectful. And I do expect dissenting opinions. Again, I would never want to have an audience. I don't care whether it's 1, 20, or whoever, to agree with everything that I say, because then I would have to be looking at you strange. That's not, in my opinion, how to gain trust. If I'm wrong and if I'm way off, I would want those who truly, truly support any platform to let me know or offer another perspective for me to examine, to dissect, if you will. And perhaps I may change my thought or keep my same thought, hold my position with respecting another's perspective. To me, that's healthy. That's healthy dialogue. And that's how, in my opinion, one grows. Now, Black, you've been around probably as long as I have, if you're still in here. And I don't want to exhume the past, but sometimes it's needed, even just to paint a backstory. I went through a lot with a certain individual, as many had, but as I've mentioned, I've forgiven and I've moved on. I've had my toe-to-toe with a few people. Again, I've moved on, but that does not negate the fact that there are still some within this 2, maybe 3 years that have continued on the path of chaos. everywhere you go. There's drama. And again, maybe it's just me and my ego, and I do have a small one. I would not want to be in a group. Again, there is no limitation on the size of the group where I know my presence is not wanted and has been said and articulated in many ways and actions. I couldn't do it. And I also, and this is just me, I also wouldn't want to be the one. And again, I would never, ever lay a blueprint to how one decides to run their platforms, because I visit many platforms for various reasons, but I would never want to prop myself as to something that I'm not, and then try to make others feel bad. Also, those in this game of playing Dateline reporter, and again, fight back the way you feel as though you need to fight back. I've had to fight back. And I've hit my targets. But it hasn't been on YouTube or social media. I've said what I needed to say, and I've moved on. These Dateline reporters, as I mentioned, are helping an online cancer, if you will, grow. Now, this quote unquote exposing isn't new. There are certain sectors that I've peeked in, and we think what we're seeing and hearing in our sector is bad. No. Some of these others are really dark and low. You take the fun out of a social media platform. And yes, I understand this is not limited to a race or culture, but because the majority of time that I spend is with my own, if you will, some of the fun for me has diminished. Not all, but some of it, because I just don't feel as though certain information needs to be floated around. And again, as many say, a lot of things are already public. There are people still with landline phones. AI and SAI is so strong where you will have robocalls that address you by your name, and sometimes your property address, asking if you want to sell. They already have your information. So if AI can do that, others can too. And you have the dark web where information is sold. And then you have YouTube streets where people have access to certain websites, paid of course, some non-paid, but to get certain documents. There's certain websites that you have to have access to. And some of you have access when you really shouldn't. And when you bring certain information, not only is it embarrassing for some, humiliating, and oftentimes damaging, others that watch and follow will fall in line and do the same, especially if there are people that speak about numbers often. And again, YouTube and all social media platforms are deemed as a business for many. And as I mentioned earlier, it's for entertainment, information, but the end game and goal is profit for many. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because in business, you are there to make a profit as well as to provide a service. But again, I do not agree with when it's used and weaponized with malicious intent. And I've said this before, it's almost like there was an epiphany last year, and it's coming to fruition. You see lawsuits. A couple of them are BS to me, and I'll be speaking on that on this channel. And I'm waiting for someone to try to submit via a conversation, a rebuttal, because I'll shoot that down as well. Virtually, that is. But we've seen a myriad of cease and desist coming from some of the individuals that started a lot of chaos and drama, just to be seen and heard. And before I close this initial video out, because I'm over an hour and did not expect to that long, but I will say, and I stand true to this, I always have. Some of you really, truly need to be careful, especially the ones that have more to lose than others. Oh, no problem. I cooked yesterday. I'll have to cook again later tonight for the next 3 days. But thank you, Black. Some of you have a lot more to lose. I am not talking about channels, even though for some that's their bread and butter, so I understand that. No, you can put yourself, your household, your job, your sponsorships if you have any, and oftentimes relationships in jeopardy by some of the things that you're doing, some of the things that you're engaging in that are unethical. And the same way some of you believe you have one up on someone, that person is already 10 steps ahead of you. And there are many people, as I've said before many, many times, that don't run to the internet to quote unquote disclose what they know. They just wait and observe and listen attentively and dissect and take note of the many, many lies that have been told. Follow your discernment. Watch with a clear lens, your own individual lens. Actions and words that part from people's mouths and their heart. And let that be a guide to you. Again, we are all free individuals to go to whatever platforms we choose to go. But just keep in mind, if you wander in the darkness and find yourself spending more and more time in that darkness, eventually there's a possibility that some of that may rub off onto you, and then you'll take that back. And it's a possibility it'll rub off on someone else. And then you'll have an entire group that is turned dark. And then it'll go and jump to another group, and to another group, to another group. And just when you think you've heard or seen the lowest one could say or do, someone else comes up with something lower and more outrageous. Until, unfortunately, someone truly is harmed in the worst way. And that, unfortunately, may not be enough for some to stop this behavior. So this will conclude my very first live on the Wise TV 2, where I will, my next live, be a little bit more blunt, offer the link to anyone that would like to express themselves. But the subject will be, as I mentioned earlier, how do you allow those you support to make a fool out of themselves? I'll give my commentary. And for those that have any comments or thoughts on that subject, you're welcome to leave it in the chat or come up as the link will be dropped to express yourselves. So with that, enjoy this holiday weekend for many. Some will celebrate, others do not. And again, I respect all opinions, beliefs, and thoughts on certain holidays. I'm not going to go into my spiel of history because at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. I just ask that you all be safe, whether it be in your homes, outside, or on the highways. We are surrounded by people who we're just in a microwave society. Everything wants to be done immediately, automatic. People aren't patient like they used to be in the past. Everything has to be done right now. And unfortunately, many people never make it home. And if they do, they're not the same as when they left, either by fault of their own or by someone else who decided they wanted to drive a little bit faster or by being slightly inebriated because they're only 5 miles from home. As I said before, if you don't think enough about yourself, that's on you. But think about the others and their families and friends who could be affected by your poor decisions. So with that, thank you and welcome to The Wise 2 TV. Blessings to all.